Hey everybody, so give me a second. I don't know if I'm fully live yet or not, but like testing multiple platform streaming, so hey everybody. Okay, give me a second. I'm literally trying to get this together. And it is, you guys can hear me, right? Can you guys hear me? Hey guys. Okay, let me try to get my chat up here. I'm trying to stream to three or four or five platforms. Okay, I got some chat coming in. Awesome. From the YouTube side. Okay. So, yep, live on YouTube. Hello, hello. Okay. So let me put this here. Okay, so that's working. So YouTube's working. Okay, so let me. This is a live session, guys. You are currently listening to me live, and I'm trying to see if I can do more of these lives, but I'll explain in a second what I'm trying to do here. So give me a second. Yes, hello everybody. It might be like silent and awkward at times just because I'm trying to get things going here. So, all right. So this is that. Okay. So I got that going. Now let me check something else. Okay. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so I have two platforms going, so that's fine. Okay, so the chats are coming in on the YouTube side. Okay, so that's good. So let me just check Instagram and TikTok. Okay. This is very crazy. Okay. So once I get going with some technical stuff, hopefully it gets better. But okay, so let me see. So my volume's okay, right? Everybody? This is my first time doing a multi-platform stream. So hopefully you guys can be patient with me. All right, so view stream. So I'm going to go for some time tonight. So if you guys can just bear with me. I'm using a couple of different platforms. Okay, so that's YouTube. Okay, so YouTube is good. Man, yes, audio is good. So I made sure of that. Okay, so the only issue is that it's going to be cropped. So I'm not quite sure how that works just yet. But it's okay. Maybe I'll just go live like this. Okay, so I'm just going to go live like this on Instagram. Okay, so that's Instagram. Promise you guys I will get better at this. Hey everybody on Instagram. I don't know how to make this different, the resolution, but it's okay. Hey Instagram and YouTube. Okay, so now let's try this other one. I'm trying to do some live streams, everybody, and I'm trying to do a multi-platform stream. So this is my first time doing it. So I have YouTube and Instagram up. I'm trying to get TikTok up. So it should all work simultaneously, but something else is going wrong here, I think. So let me see if I can try to fix it. So TikTok. Okay, so let me go to TikTok. So am I live on TikTok here? Okay, I'm not. Okay, let's see. All right, let's check the other TikTok. Hey everybody, so bear with me here. I got Instagram and YouTube up. If this doesn't work on TikTok, then I will just probably start it. And I'm working through technical stuff. I'm doing this for the first time, everybody, so hopefully you guys can bear with me. Okay, so it's saying it's streaming, but I don't see myself online, so let's see. So wherever you are watching from, yeah, I'm using OBS and Restream.io. So people that are asking. All right, hey Instagram, okay. So that's good. Okay, so that's working. Yeah, so I have the right software and everything. I did a lot of research. I'm just literally getting this up for the first time. So let me just think for a second. It is not broadcasting. So let me check something here. All right, Yep, thank you everybody. Okay, so hello everybody. Oh man, I guess this is more than I thought. Okay. So we have many from YouTube and many from Instagram. So let's do this. Okay, so maybe I'll just stick with the two streams here for now. Praise the Lord, because one of my TikTok accounts, so I do the encouragement on TikTok and I double post. And that has been getting like a lot of views recently. A lot of my videos there have been getting like 500,000 views, which is crazy. So it's been gaining some momentum. Okay, so hey everybody. So let me do this. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is this week I'm going live like 4 days, and okay. So there's a two-part reason why. Number one, I know I've been posting and I've been, just kind of talking to you guys one way, but I want to do a little bit more interaction, but I also want to kind of put some things out there. So I have some new news I want to share, and I also want to talk about some things I would love to get some help on. So let me talk about that here in a little bit. But what I'll do is in the next 4 days, I'm going to try to take questions like a Q&A, and I'm going to try and maybe have some structured like encouragement. So a lot of people have been asking, do you do one-on-ones, or do you, can you talk about a certain topic? So I'm going to go with the continuation of what I normally do on the long videos. Oh, I guess I am live on TikTok. Am I live on TikTok? So hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me see. It's just that the chat's not coming in. Okay, so give me 1 second, guys. So I guess I am live. Hold on. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna try to see if I can get into. Oh wow, I am live. Hey everybody, so I'm live on TikTok too. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, so YouTube is good. Chat is coming through. And I'm so sorry guys. This is literally my first time doing a multi-platform stream. And I am trying to just figure it out. Okay. So audio is good. Okay, good. Nice. Okay, awesome. Oh, this is so good. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so I'm on live. The chat isn't combining into my chat box. All right. I think somebody from the software I use is watching me and just kind of helping me. So thank you to you. So hello everybody. So yeah, this is a live. You're literally seeing me live. So that's why I'm not like going full out, just starting to talk. What I'm trying to do is get things situated, and then I will kind of see how this goes. So I know I'm not going to get like a lot of viewers, but the point is that I want to kind of engage a little more. So what I'm going to do is for the next 4 days, I will probably try to take some questions, but also have a little bit more of a topical, structured encouragement, because a lot of people have been asking certain situations, and hey, and it'll just be something of a continuation of what I normally do. And I also want to give you guys an announcement, and then try to move things towards that direction when I can. So I'll talk about what that is here in a second. Okay, so let me open up these individual sessions. Okay, so I'm going to have each of these individual ones an announcement, and then try to. Okay, so that's good. So that's that. I have TikTok open. I have like multiple devices just monitoring, but I also have a chat box where it's supposed to come in, like all of the messages are supposed to come together across the platforms. Okay, so that's this. Okay, nice. All right, it's working well. It's working very well. Awesome. So I guess TikTok, it was just a little bit of a latency issue. Okay. Let me get all the chats up. Oh man. So this is crazy. So I got Instagram, 2 TikTok accounts. So I have 2 TikTok accounts because I'm trying to double post my encouragement videos, the long form, into TikTok, and it's been taking off. So I had I opened this like a month ago, and it's been getting like 500,000 views on TikTok. So there is a need for long form video. My short form, the one that's on Instagram, and also another account on TikTok, it does okay, but I think people are just hungry for more like authentic, longer content. So that's that. Okay. So TikTok is good and Instagram is good. And let me just open up these 2 windows. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, good. Oh, everything's working. Everything's working. So hello, Instagram. We have the 2 YouTube channels and then the 2 TikTok channels. Okay. That's good. All right. So what I'm going to do is, you guys are here right now, and everybody that's watching, hello. I have a big announcement I want to share with you. And first, what I'm just going to say outright is, so I live in the U.S. right now, and the Lord has now called me to go back to Korea. So I'm going to be moving to Korea as of the end of this week / next week. It's been in the works for a while, and nothing's really changing with regards to content, but what is changing is my next phase of life. So there'll be some new things coming. I'll be working on some, business stuff. I will continue some schooling as well as some other things, and it's going to be very interesting. So that is, it's scary in some sense, but again, I'm not concerned or worried. I just have to kind of prepare for it. So I've been back and forth, for a while, and so it's Seoul, South Korea. So I am. So I was there. So the reason I didn't post recently is because I was there for like a week trying to finalize, some documentation and other things I am a dual citizen, so I am a citizen of the U.S. and I'm also a citizen of South Korea. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm obedient to that, and so I'll talk a little bit more about it. But yes, thank you. And I'm going through some of these chats here, and I see a lot of people. Congratulations, as well as some things that a lot of people have a tie to Korean culture and whatnot. So that's good. So yeah, the dual thing it's another crazy story, but yeah, you can. There's laws that have passed and things like that. So yeah, you don't. HSC about the dual citizenship. Yeah, you can. So I'm 이중국적. So that means that I don't have to do the 국적 이탈, which basically means you renounce your citizenship. But there are certain things you have to kind of do. So you have to take a certain oath so that you wouldn't exercise your citizenship in the U.S. So the reason I have that is there's this concept called 혈통주의. 혈통주의. So that's the idea. It's like a Latin term saying something sangrius. Basically, the fact that you are able to have dual citizenship by being born in a different country, but because of your birthright to your parents who have citizenship in Korea, they can basically go and you have to do your 출생신고 and like all that stuff. But you have to do it formally, and you have to do it at the right time and all that. So anyway, complicated story, but it's possible. So in the U.S. And recent laws have passed like 10 years ago because they moved from. So those that know, there's like 호적, and you can now do a new thing. It's like 가족관계 증명서 and 가족 기본 증명서. So all that stuff basically means that you can move away from the old system into this new, and part of the new system means that you can have dual citizenship. So that's that, to those that are curious, because I know there's a lot of Korean viewers and they're wondering about that. So that's that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this link up. Okay, actually, let me see if this works. Okay, so did this come up? So I'm testing a bunch of stuff. So this chat thing that came up says today is day 1 of 4 days. So we're gonna do some chat Q&A. I'll do some encouragement, and then I'll talk about some fundraising I'm doing. So basically, I am setting up this givesendgo.com/Chris Hyun webpage. So if you guys want to go there, you can do that. But so let me give you a little bit of a background of myself, because those that have wondered about what I do and who I am this might answer a little bit. So I have moved more towards full-time content creation and small business, online business. So what I'm going to do for the foreseeable future, as the Lord is calling me, is I'm going to be more in the weeds of digital content creation, whether it's with other people or teams or just myself. I have 2 people that have been working for me or under me for a very long time, maybe like 2 years. So they've been helping me with a lot of different stuff, but mostly on the small business side. Before I went full all out in content creation, I used to work in corporate. So I was in consulting for many years after college. I did strategy consulting for like the number 1 biggest or best tech consulting firm. And then I moved to big tech. And so I worked at, I don't want to say the detailed names now, but it's basically just one of the top companies in the tech space, especially in Korea. So worked there and then moved away. And now I am just full-blown content creation and small business. So what I'm trying to do next is amplify that. So if you guys follow me across platforms, you would know that I have been amping up everything. So just until recently, maybe in the last week, because I've been busy traveling. But I've been posting on 2 YouTube channels. I've been posting on 2 TikTok accounts, a Instagram, and then I also double post some of my stuff on Rumble and all that. So it takes quite a bit, as well as just planning and editing. So because of that, why do I have this? Give me 1 second. I have this Restream. Oh, you know what? There we go. Sorry. It looks like there was a big text box. So I'm using Restream. So it's not it's a paid version, so it's not something, I think I just pressed the wrong button. So there we go. Okay, so it's gone. I use OBS and Restream. So to those that are joining, I'm literally doing this for the first time to get all of the multiple platforms together. So what I'm doing is today I'm just going to do some chat Q&A encouragement, and then just kind of put this out there. This website, givesendgo.com/Christian. So anybody that would love to support me, I would just embrace it. I know a lot of people have been asking with regards to my website. My other website is down right now because for some reason, like, it got shut down, and I'm appealing it, and it's just been a bit of a headache. If you know me talking about, and I don't want to say the names of the companies, but basically they've been very difficult to work with. The payment provider, the merchant, and just all these vendors or merchants have been very difficult to deal with. And so I've just been caught in this whole cycle of appeals, bans, and all that stuff. The same goes for social media. Thankfully, social media has been good to me. YouTube has been good. TikTok and Instagram have been good too. So that's not a problem. But I've always said before, guys, you're going to be persecuted. And again, I'm not trying to say this is the scapegoat for everything, but every time you try to do something, there's going to be some demonic, satanic attack. There's going to be, just some difficulty. And so you just have to kind of push through and persevere. And whether it's a technical a glitch or technical issue, or it's some other thing, you gotta push through. So that's that. So I'm still kind of skimming through some of the comments here. So that's good. And continue to chat if you guys are here. And I'm across like 4 different platforms, by the way. So again, the news for me is the end of this week / next week, going into next week, I will be moving to Korea from the U.S. By the way, this has nothing to do with like anything like going on in the United States. I am a dual citizen of both countries. So I have just been called, the Lord has called me over the last 3 or 4 months to move and to kind of do some more work over there. And so more info will come as I continue to share, but I want to be able to just give the announcement for that formally, officially. So what I have this website up. If you guys are willing to support me, I go through what I'm trying to get funding for. So number 1 is just to move there. Just some of the expenses would help me because I don't work in corporate anymore. I don't have like my own salary and all that. What I do is I try to make money from the social media side as well as with so I don't do as much sponsorships. I did like 2 or 3 last year, but I just don't want to do it as much. That's where a lot of, from a content creator perspective, that's where some money comes from. But I'm trying not to do that. So what I'm trying to do is just build up the views and just get, income from the views as well as with my small business side. So, either merch or just, certain stores, online stores and things like that. So it's been okay, but it's just, it's not, I don't want to say not paying the bills, but I've had to invest in the business as well as my employees from a lot of my savings and just what I've done from the past in corporate, and then just going into this side. But it hasn't reached profitability just yet. So a lot has come in, a lot has has come out of it, but it's not really quite there yet. And so that's why, like from time to time, I'll ask for help from this, and I'll be as transparent as possible. So let me go to this site, and I will. Oh no, is this not published? Oh, hold on. Oh no. Okay, I don't think I published it, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure this is completely published. Okay, let me just make sure. Send go that Chris Yoon. Okay, I think it's published. Okay, good. I see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just quickly go over this. And maybe I'll just read it off, huh? Maybe that will help. And then once people have time, they can go and, give if they are, willing. So no pressure, obviously. So let me see if I can change my screen. So right now I'm in this vertical or horizontal format, and I'm going to try to fix this because I think it's a little bit more difficult to view me on this horizontal platform for Instagram and TikTok. So, but it's okay. So let's do this. So, okay, is this the right screen? Okay, yes, that's okay. That much is okay. Okay, so let me do this. Let me move it over here. So this is the page. Again, I'm not going to go through it too deeply. You guys can look at it. But God's calling me back to Korea as I continue full time in Christian content creation and other business and missions. I'm asking for your financial support to help sustain employees, infrastructure, and personal costs during this move as I focus on building sustainable revenue generating opportunities that glorify God while reaching people worldwide through my continued social media efforts. So as I mentioned, I want to continue to focus on content creation, but also on other opportunities. So again, I put some bigger costs, but I just put an attainable goal of 20K here initially. So we'll see how it goes. Some moving costs, some housing, continued education, tuition for local studies, and partial salaries for my current two-person team of editors, assistants, and support specialists. Salary for a new hire to assist with content creation and production. I'm going to try to get some of these guys upgraded equipment, like higher-end PCs for my team members, as well as some production equipment for the whole production, as well as just other short-term living costs, miscellaneous investments, other funds to bless others, and then I'm also going through legal stuff right now. So at my position right now, there's just so much. Again, I'm not like a big-time person, obviously, but you're just always going to go through people coming at you or you having to stand up for something. So that's been a little bit of an issue. So I mentioned this briefly in a video a couple months back. So I'm dealing with that. So won't read this completely, but basically there's been just a need, I feel like, in the greater Asia Pacific region for more English speaking and more ministry. And so I think that being local to that area, especially with some of my employees being in that area, I think will help a little bit better because we're in the same time zone, as well as just other things. And I'll get to that as time comes. But your support will help me with my education, continued studies, building a stronger team, and then to help others. So you guys can go through this, but if you guys want to support me, I literally just put this up. And the goal here in the short term is 20K. I know it sounds like that's a lot or a little, but I also put a lot more here. I literally, if we reach that and then it goes higher, then I'm going to add, you can change the goal. So I'll just kind of change the goal. So I chose this, Give, Send, Go, as opposed to GoFundMe because it's a Christian platform. So I wanted to give them, a chance to do more. So, so I'll explain. So the business that I've been starting, I've been doing it for this past year. So I have not only a personal merch store, but also I was trying to do more of the, it was like a gift packaging type business. And so it moved forward and I was able to sell certain things on my website. But the problem is that I've just been hit with a lot of just production as well as cost issues. I'm trying to get more into advertising, marketing, online, that kind of thing. And it's just been a little bit tough and it's been bleeding more money. So I've had people, purchase certain things, but it's just been bleeding more than revenue coming in. So I don't want to say it was a flop, but I need to get 2 or 3 things that are going to be profitable for me. So not only social media and just this area, of what I'm doing now, but also some maybe low hanging fruit, like easier things to kind of like build up like a cash cow before I can kind of go back into that, because I've had it to the point where I had a lot of inventory kind of pile up, but it was just taking a hit for me, like storage costs, just bleeding, and just software, other fees, and so I had to sort of just let go for the moment. So it's on pause. I've sold many things. You guys have seen it on my website too if you've purchased from me, christianstore.com. But it's just kind of in this limbo period before I can really gather myself with being focused on content creation and the growth in this area, and then I can go back to some of the other things. So that's that. So I'm gonna put that up and leave that there. Okay. So yeah, and thank you so much, guys. So basically, the news I've been sharing to those that have been coming in recently is I have been called. I've been in prayer for a while. I've been getting up early. Like, if you guys are not praying, taking time to pray. Again, I'm not trying to sound legalistic, but getting up early every day, like at 6, and just praying for an hour. And just through that time, I've been very much convicted to continue to go in the direction of moving back to Korea and then doing some more work there. So I've been in the U.S. To those that don't know where I live, I've been in the U.S. I've been in the Midwest for some time. And now after being here, I have, family here and also there. I have friends here and also there, but it's just a change for now. Who knows how long, but just like Paul, you just got to be obedient in the season. And one thing I have, told people is be very careful how, you put a promise to something. So let me turn this back on. Okay, there we go. So again, I don't want to promise that it's going to be, years. I don't want to promise it's anything, long or short, but just as the things come, as the Lord leads, I'll just be obedient to that. So, okay, so that's that. And again, what I'm going to do to those that are listening, or have come in recently, I'm going to do a live every single day, hopefully morning and evening, to account for some time zone differences until Thursday. So hopefully this would help me a bit into getting the word out, but I would love the support. We'll see how it goes. I'll also read comments from those that have supported and donated. And then also I'll do some encouragement as well as topical things and just, Q&A. So right now we're in a season, guys, where if you've been listening to some of my videos, you have to really step up. You have to really move away from the old, gone with the old. Okay, the new has come. And so we're going to really take 2025 and do our best. And so I think a lot of us need some encouragement, some accountability, and just others or seeing others walk in their faith. So hopefully this would encourage you in some sense. So again, I'm just a small guy. I'm not anybody on YouTube. Obviously, I'm a somebody in with my identity in Christ, but from the perspective, humbly speaking, I'm a nobody. So to those that have been wondering, I'm just a content creator. I've been posting. I'm just trying to be faithful in the calling, and God has, done different things in certain places, and it's been great. So I'm very glad. A lot of people have given encouraging comments and replies, so that's awesome. I love it. So let me go through some comments here. Also, people have already started giving. So Maddie said, praying for you in your journey, spreading the word of God and His love. Keep moving forward. You got this. Well, Sid said, may God bless you with the tool you need on your journey. So thank you. So again, what I'm going to do is I'll take some questions throughout the next 3-4 days, and then hopefully as the Lord leads, I can also do certain topical like encouragements and exhortations, and then we'll see how that goes. And then if you guys have certain situations or common themes I can address, then I can kind of talk about those things over the next few days. Otherwise, I'll probably just interact, read the comments, read the chat, and then being able to talk to you guys. So to those that are curious, I literally have YouTube 2 channels up, TikTok 2 channels up, and Instagram up. So I have across all of them many people watching and in many chats I'm trying to navigate here. So and let me think. So it's nice that this amalgamated software, this chat software, is getting the YouTube portion, but it's not getting the TikTok and the Instagram. But I have like other sources up right now, so they're all kind of helping me. So okay, let me see here. Let me make sure that I'm looking at certain things. So if anybody has some questions, let me know. Otherwise, okay, YouTube has been very active. So let me just go over here. Okay. And hello, everybody. Yes, thank you for supporting and joining. So what I'm doing is I'm going to try to do these lives. I know I haven't built up a live audience. It's just been kind of videos, but you know, over the years I've done some lives here and there, but I'm going to try to do hopefully more of these as the Lord leads. So let's see. So yeah, so you know, I may be speaking primarily in English, so honestly, my English is better than my Korean at the moment, so it's going to be a little. So I may do subtitles. So that's one of the things that I'm going to add probably with my team. So a lot of my spiritual language is in English at the moment, but you know, if I go back, it's gonna you know, it'll probably heighten itself over there. Okay, so I'm just scanning through some comments. Let's see. I'm like trying to scroll up as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus a little bit more over the next few days on encouragement. So more or less on current events and just the times. I know people are curious about that too, because I talk about that here and there. But what I want to do, for which it's a little bit more of a gifting, I think, is encouragement and exhortation. So I love just thinking about a situation, and the Lord has given me a sense of empathy to something, and just trying to give that word of encouragement. So as you guys know from my long form videos, I have just a way that the Lord encourages me. Holy Spirit speaks through me, and then I just kind of talk the situational type stuff. Okay, so let me see here. I'm going to go down a little bit. Let me see if I can go down. Okay, yes, videos have been a blessing. Thank you. Encouragement helps a lot. Videos, okay, videos are the reason I started my journey with Christ. Okay, so yeah, to those that are still asking, so I am doing a live for the next 4 days. I'll probably do some Q&A, some encouragement. This is literally my first within 30 minutes or so. I don't know how long it's been, but my first live today, day 1, and I'll see how it goes, but I'm going to just try to give situations and give encouragement as much as possible. So I'll also talk a little bit about myself as well. So I've been in a season of transition. So as I've mentioned, I'll be moving to Korea from the U.S. and when I'm there, who knows how God is going to lead, but it's going to be a whole nother, you know, journey when I'm out there. So okay, so let me do this. Let me open up this one and just look at this. Okay, so, so how do I know if God is asking me to wait or if he wants me to take a leap of faith? This is from Instagram. Okay, so One of the craziest things I think that we, not craziest, but basically one of the biggest decisions we all like have to make is when you come to a big point or fork in the road, some choice, some situation, we have to ask, should we, take the leap of faith and do it, or should we wait and see if God wants me to actually take the leap of faith, do something else, or if it's something, for example, like demonic or not of the Lord, and it's a distraction. So I've talked about this here and there often, and again, I'm not saying this is like a cookie cutter approach. It's never like that. It's never going to be, something where this happens and then you have to act in this way. But one of the biggest things that just as a believer we must be able to do is not only listen, lean in, be obedient, and be guided by Him, but in that stillness, in that waiting, and in that moment of action for which we have to take, it's all being led by the Lord. And there's like 3 or 4 things I would kind of look for. So number one, do you have peace about it? Is there peace when you are praying about leaning into Him and asking for a decision that you need to be able to make? So if you have the peace of God that transcends all understanding, then I don't want to say you can be sure that that's the direction, but that's one of the conditions that is needed for you to be able to then act on something, as opposed to being a fleshly desire, or you still wait, but because you know that that's the right thing you've got to do, you've got to look for the next window or timing to be able to do something. So the peace of God is with you. God is never a God of chaos, of disorder. He's not going to come here and tell you, hey, like, you're going to lose out. You're going to, this other person or that opportunity is going to go away. If it's for you, I've always said before, if it's for you and God has it planned for you, if you want to say predestined for you, then it's for you. And so you just have to allow the sequence of steps to take, to unfold. And then that's number one, the peace of God. And then number 2 is when you are moving a certain direction, is it in alignment with not only the Word, but also the calling that God has for you? So obviously this is very, simple, but God is never going to have you move into sin. He's never going to have you do something that's against the Word of God. But at the same time, if it's aligned to, if you're called to marriage and you feel like a certain person you've got to, approach, let's say you're a guy, you're approaching a girl, or let's say, you're called to, a certain field and certain doors are opening up and you have to just take the leap of faith. You have to be courageous about it and just like go for it. There may be, signs there that allow you, because it's in alignment with the direction you're going, to be able to just do that. And if it's the peace of God, and also that this is something that is in your lane, then it could be a sign that you've got to be able to do that. A lot of us guys, more often than not, we're looking for the right perfect answer and the right like window and all that. A lot of it also is just you being bold and courageous and just daily taking steps, even though you may not get a full-blown dream or something of a confirmation to do something. You got to be able to just go out there and just seize every moment. And so things will come at you. So every day you may have an opportunity, and for us to be paralyzed in, taking the right action perfectly is going to just hinder us and hurt us in some sense. If you see what Jesus did, he's always, taking the moment. Like he's obviously structured and planned, but also he's one to make sure that he stops. He goes to somebody in the crowd. He addresses people and just goes up there, takes the mic, addresses the crowd. Other times he hides, goes away into a quiet place. All of that is this ebb and flow that isn't necessarily him going away for 40 days or a quiet place and just for every decision just trying to, get, something of a confirmation, but really just taking it with the confidence. I think that if you work on, and this is not just to you, but just everybody, if everybody works on trying to, sorry, let me just move down. I noticed the comments were frozen, but it's because I didn't press this button. Okay. I think if everybody works on your character, your relationship with him, all of these things will come a little bit easier as it comes out. And so part of it is that many people are just wanting something for the sake of that. But if you're just satisfied in the Lord, if you're satisfied in just seeking Him and putting your faith and trust in Him and Him being number one, then everything else is going to be just a little bit easier. So you won't be worried, you won't be anxious, you won't be concerned too much about the right decision. You'll be moved in this sort of ebb and flow way, and things like that. So, okay, so I'm trying to think, like, every time I answer a question, I don't want to do like a 10-minute thing either. So maybe I'll try to take questions that aren't as deeper, but then circle back if there's a lot of interest over the next couple days. So maybe I'll do that. Okay, so, and then it'd be nice to have some prep material too, but that's okay. So Jeremiah 29:11, Soreto says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, and plans to give you hope and a future." So, one thing I do want to say, I got to be careful because I think a lot of people are. So I don't want to bring up like prosperity, and just gospel and all of that stuff, but God has a plan for you. God has something that He desires for you to do on this earth, even though you may have limitations, whether in your health, whether in your finances, whether in something. But if you are leaning into Him, surely because you desire His will, His purpose, His will is furthering the kingdom of God. His will is that everyone comes to know Jesus. His will is that, like heaven on earth, there can be some resemblance. I know there's sin, there's the fallen world, and we're living in a society until Christ comes again and redeems, and we have a new heaven, new earth. It's just going to be a broken society until then, but we can still, even with some difficulty, some hardship, live in joy, in peace, in tranquility, in prosperity, and these things. But people don't have a desire to accept that, but rather they accept certain satanic teachings, which basically align with, in this earth, you're not going to have everything, and you're going to have to humble yourself. And again, I'm not saying humble yourself in a bad way, but people will put themselves on a lower, like this false kind of humility perspective, and they're not going to go out and get what the Lord has for them. And that could be something of a material blessing, that could be great work that you can do, just other things. But because we're so conflicted with two sides of a diluted message, it's hard for people to kind of comprehend that. And so that's why people will go out and think, oh, you know what, that's not for me, or that's too prideful, that's too arrogant, and they won't go and get that. So it would be nice to have, in my case, I would love to have more resources. I would love to have more money. I would love to have, more followers or more viewers, because that furthers the ability for me to reach people, especially if it's a word of encouragement. So because of that, it's, it's kind of hampering people. So let me address something here real quick. So I am on two different types of accounts. So I on one channel, I talk a lot about the times, news, and all that. On another account like YouTube and whatnot, I talk a lot about encouragement. So if you guys have known over the years, if you've listened to me, I talk and give words of exhortation and encouragement. So in this live, I will not talk as much about certain news and certain topics and political stuff and just all that. I'm just going to give some words of exhortation. I'm going to present some news that I have, some updates from me personally, and then just go from there. So I know a lot of us are used to me talking about new news and new things on my main channel, but on that channel, I know people are listening. I'm broadcasting to TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram across multiple accounts. So won't be doing that today because I know people have questions about, what do you think about this, and what do you think about, this news and all that. So won't do that for these next few days, but rather focus on encouragement. So let me also, for those that are coming in, like newer people, I know on YouTube especially, there's just a lot of activity, it seems like, on both the channels. So I have some major news, and that news is I'm moving to Korea. So in preparation for that, I am doing a fundraiser because I know a lot of people are still supporting me and wondering. The chrisshunestore.com right now is down, and I haven't been able to receive any, donations or help for the last like 2 months. So that's why I'm doing this sort of bigger give send go campaign, because people have been giving monthly, but it's been rejected, and my payment processor has me on hold for like a month or two until I pass like a audit and all that stuff. And so there was a day where a lot of donations came in like all at once, and people thought, or the platform Stripe thought it was some kind of fraud. So they're just waiting to see that there's no chargebacks and all that. And so before I can continue with them, I have to just wait out this like 3 month or 4 month period. So in lieu of that, and in lieu of the support that I normally get, which I'm so thankful and grateful for, thank you guys so much for that, I'm setting up this givesendgo.com/chrisshun site, so you can see it up here, for anybody that would like to donate. You know what? I think people have been asking about private donations too. I forget about that because that was on my other site. Maybe tomorrow I'll put up like Zelle or Venmo or something else, or PayPal. So I may go through with that. So right now, I know people are watching the live, but when you guys do get a chance, I have the link in, let me see. I think I have it in the description. Let me just make sure. Yep. So I have it here. Oh no, I don't have it here. Okay. So how do I change this? Okay, so on YouTube it's not there, but it's okay. So you guys can type it in somewhere else. And I have it linked in my profiles as well. So, okay, so that's that for anyone coming in. Let me go down to the chat again. It has been quite the show this morning because my technical issues have been a little tough. Okay. So for those that are wondering, the Lord has just called me to go to Korea, and over the last 3-4 months, it's just been more prevalent. I've been praying through it. There's just been a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot more that, I don't want to say a lot more, but I think there's a lot in the Asia Pacific region that the Lord is probably calling me to in the near future, for which I have to maybe be there, address, and also because some of my team members are there right now, so I have to kind of be closer to them. I have family, I have friends there and here. I've been in the U.S., all of these last several years, and I feel like the U.S. is moving into, a time for which it's I don't want to say going to be better. There's still a fight. We still have to pray and all that. But I think that there's going to be a lot that's happening into the near future. I think people that have followed news, especially for Korean news, just know that it's been difficult over there. And so being closer there and just being ready for what God has to do, I think that's a big part of it, as well as just some other personal sort of reasons that I'll be able to talk about in the near future. So, so let me do this. Let me read some comments that are in the paid chat as well as in the website. So the Give Send Go. So it's coming. Says, where the Lord guides, He provides. Brother, glory to the Lord. Let's be about the Father's business. Your sister in Christ in Houston. Okay, thank you. And then let's see over here. Okay, so let me see. Okay, let me go back. I think this is helpful. So let me go back and let me look at some of these other comments. Okay, so JJ says, dude, I'm so glad you're doing a live. Thanks for being a warrior of the Lord. We have enjoyed you and the content the Lord inspires you with. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. And then let me go here. So, hi Chris, good luck with what you're doing. What do you think about fate and predestination? I've noticed your mention of predestination several times. Best, Jack. Okay, so that's good. So one thing I do want to say is that I'm not a seminary versed person, for which I know there's specific terms of certain theologies and who it is attributed to. Like the C.S. Lewis's of the world and just all of that. But let me just do something real quick, because I also want to make sure I have my Bible/chat and also my search up. So this is a live, and I'm reading comments, and as it says up here, Q&A, and some encouragement, as well as just talking about my next steps and what's happening, and just trying to get some support as much as possible. So, okay, so let me talk about it like this. So, fate in the sense of it being, I don't want to say some random chance. Nothing is like some random chance that God doesn't know of what's happening or what's like going to happen. He has, I don't know what the concept is, maybe like the butterfly effect. He just knows all the intricacies, the web of patterns and everything that can ever happen, but he just also knows what is the right timeline of what's going to happen. So even though you can double fake and just like think things, God just knows what the outcome is. And even in the midst of that, there's free will. So really fate is this juxtaposition with predestination, which is not fate, but free will. So I think this is the predestination thing is the John Calvin thing. So again, I'm not going to get into theological discussion in the debate and what that is, because it's more of a pastoral or teacher type of thing. But what I will say is that I believe that God has everything lined up in the sense of what he knows. But because there's free will, we have the choice. Because he's God, he's omniscient, omnipotent, and just knows everything. He knows what's going to happen. But because he allows free will, we have the choice to be able to do certain things. And that's why there is this whole heaven and hell. That's why there is, people being sent there, because we have free will. If we didn't have free will, then everybody could be, robots, and we could be going to heaven, because that's the will that, or the desire that God has. So again, just talking on it briefly, I think that you are ordained, predestined in the sense that if you're called and God has chosen you, you can walk in that calling. But at the same time, you can reject it, and it could be something different from what God has for you. So more simply kind of put. Let's talk. Okay, so let me go up to a few earlier comments. Okay, so some don't have comments. I'm looking at super chats in the YouTube, so God bless you. 8 months, but I hope it helps. God bless you. Okay, so thank you guys over there. So I realize that people are also sending, man, I've never been on a live stream in TikTok, but people are sending gifts and random stuff. So I've got to look into what that is. But thank you for that. And thank you for, you guys are like getting upgraded. I don't know what that is, but so that's that. And then let me read again the Give, Send, Go. So Jesus is Lord and King. Yes. I'm blessed by your messages. Okay. And then I read the other ones. Okay. Somebody asked, can someone's ill intent or jealousy towards you take away what God has for you? Or good is stronger? Good is stronger. Yeah. Like the goodness is stronger. Okay. So I talk about this in certain videos too, but let me say it like this, okay? There's always going to be some people with certain spirits that are going to be jealous. They're going to be hovering over you. There's like a monitoring spirit. There's going to be people that want to sabotage your life. They're going to want to do things to thwart what God's plan is for you. And sometimes it's not like they're admitting to it, or they're, saying like, this is my flesh, or I'm an agent of Satan. They're not going to say those things per se, but because there's an open, spirit to which if you are weak in a certain area, Satan can kind of tap into that, and at worst can overwhelm you and embody you, especially if you're not a believer, meaning the other person, somebody in your life, be demonically oppressed or possessed, and then be able to directly attack or circumvent what you have going for you. Or they can just be influenced in a certain way because there's a certain weakness they have. Let's say they are, always angry, or they're struggling with certain things, and they're going to tap into that, and then it's going to come against you. But to the extent that it will take away what God has for you, actually that goes back to your choice of free will earlier that I said. So God always has a path for you that you can take by your choice and say, you know what, I accept this, I want this. But if it means cutting off relationships, if it means moving on from, certain things, then I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of old patterns, old sin, all these things, and I want to move into something that God has for me. Then you can definitely move. You can move toward that and not lose it. But you have to take those necessary steps, recognize the oppression you have against you, and then be able to, be strong in the Lord to continually move in that direction. Because you're always going to get people in your life, and what I see a lot is there's a path people have, they can take it, but there's going to be all of this sort of small little like oppression, like your one friend who's always going to kind of pull you back towards, certain sins, or you are being distracted by certain people, certain things. And so it's going to kind of thwart you in some sense from getting the blessing, or I don't want to say like the perfect path you have, but there's certain things that are for you, like the right girl, the right guy. If you keep entertaining somebody else, then it's going to delay something that's for you. Or ultimately, if you've delayed long enough, you won't be able to, like receive it, because time has passed so much and it's just kind of gone out. And there's I don't want to say a window of opportunity, but there's a chance that if you don't seize that, then it's going to just continue to fade away. So, there's choice that you have to make, and there's free will in that. So, be able to seize that as much as possible. So. And it takes incremental steps, not just one big thing. So that's from Andrea on TikTok. So Julianne says, help, my head trips up when I think of God creating evil / Lucifer. He is the creator of all. I know he redeemed us through Jesus Christ, but it's so difficult for me to accept he made evil. Thank you. Yeah, so, God didn't make the evil. It's just that people, because of the fall of the early, angels, a third of heaven, and Lucifer and these guys, because they defied God, and it was their choice in doing this, ultimately sin was entered, and it just happened where, you have the temptation, you have people just defying God, and because there is still that exists in that world, before the earth and before creation happened, and or as in like the Adam and Eve, and because of that, it's just that he didn't. I don't want to say that God like made it. Obviously, there's an allowance of it. He will deal with it in due course, obviously with the end times and all of that. But it's hard because we can attribute putting blame on God for certain bad things, but it's not like that. God is a loving, an absolutely loving God, absolutely wants the best for us in being removed completely from sin, but he doesn't create it. He permits certain things in the sense that if you think about like Job permitting, Satan to do certain things to oppress or to, make things difficult for Job, but not one that creates the evil. So he's the creator of everything in that it's good, neutral, or just, heavenly, godly, but not creating, the evil. So he redeemed us through Christ Jesus. Yes. So, and again, don't need to go too deep into certain theologies, but it's everything the redeeming work of Christ, and because of the fall of man from Adam, and then what Christ did on the cross, that's the biggest message. Being able to be born again by being sanctified in Him, by being renewed by His blood, by His sacrifice. He paid it all on the cross, and we have to be able to have a faith in that. Not only just believe and know what that is, but we have to put our trust, our faith in that, and be born again as an engrafted member of the body of Christ here. So as much as I can just go do, what is it, like evangelism work, it's, something that I don't want to be able to completely do. I know a lot of people say, hey, just preach the gospel and just talk about that, but I have a certain area, a lane that I want to operate in, so that I feel like God is calling me to. So, all right. Oh, some people are giving some nasty comments too. So, okay. So won't look through that. So, all right. So let me see if there's some other things here. Let me just go through some other comments. Okay. All right, because I'm on different platforms, it's a different flavor across a lot of them. So let me go to the encouragement part. Okay. So hey everybody from Instagram and TikTok too. Okay. I'm just catching up on certain comments. Okay, so that's that. Can you ask Jesus for something you think may have passed to come back if you learned the lesson late? Okay. So I think that in general, God always has something for you in a certain season of life. If you missed a certain window, and again, I'm not saying like you're like if you didn't marry this person or go to this job, like you're just never going to be employed or you're never going to have, a person to marry. It's not like that in that sense, but I think that you can definitely pass up a certain window, a certain season of life because of sin or because of your own like choice. But the Lord will always have, something for you. So meaning that you're really submitting, praying, and saying, Lord, like, I want what is for me in this season, then He will be able to open a certain door for you, and He'll ready you. He will get you in the best possible place if you're able to surrender and be obedient to be able to receive that blessing, at a certain time in the next, however many months, years, weeks, as long as you're able to learn and grow from it. And once you've grown and have been sanctified more, then you're more ready to handle, that next blessing, the next page turn, the next thing in life. So, yeah, it's definitely possible for you to get, I guess if you want to say a certain thing, a certain position, a certain responsibility or person back, it's possible. God always cross paths in the most miraculous ways, but also He'll just give you, the next thing for you. So, yeah, this is for you, Liz. So, no worries. Oh no, not Liz. Sorry, it's just for your name is like a period. Yeah. So, okay. So, let's see. So that's good. All right. So let me go back to some comments, and then I'll just give some words of encouragement. So, okay. So as I mentioned, so I am doing a live for the next 4 days. I'm going to try to amalgamate or put together either prepared content of encouragement or just take questions as it comes across Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. But tomorrow, so for tomorrow, I'm going to try to see if I can do it in the morning. So maybe 9 or 10 a.m. Central Time, and then something in the evening so that it could kind of cross both. I don't say time zones as in like one part of the, like the world and the other part, but hopefully it can just do more to cover different people and their schedules. So I've also, this is my first time trying to stream across all three platforms. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to tweak certain things. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm trying to do vertical format in TikTok and Instagram, but it's not working. So I got to figure this out. And then YouTube is fine, I think, in this other format. So what I want to say is that I have some big news coming up. So if you are joining me recently, I am being called to go back to Korea. I've been in the U.S. for a while, long time. And in this next season, I believe that there's big things coming. I think that whatever God has for me over there, it's going to be crazy. But at the same time, I feel like my team, there's two members of my team that's closer to the time zone in Korea. That's going to work out. I'm looking for another person that can do other content creation and just assist me in certain things. I'm also just preparing because I need support in that this past year or 2 years have been difficult in the sense of I've been moving towards small business. I've been moving towards the content creation side. And I used to be a full-time worker, and I was paid well and all of that. I worked in consulting, strategy consulting. I worked in big tech, and then God called me to full-time online content creation in the Christian space. But I may expand that to other things. And so far, I've been covering encouragement videos. I've been covering inspiration, things like that, but also current events, the times, and interpreting and understanding certain things. I am not a pure teacher, pastor. I'm not a pastor, by the way, guys. A lot of people call me pastor, but not a pastor. I'm just, I feel like in this season, there's a lot of people that God is using that he's bringing up in social media as well as just other realms of society that is very unorthodox in some sense. So that's why I've said that in past videos that we're not always going to be stuck in this rigid church / some other format culture. You're going to see guys like me. You're going to see a full breadth of the body of Christ. I believe in certain giftings that still exist today. So people call it continuationist versus cessationist. So I believe in the continuation of certain giftings of the body of Christ, like prophetic, the seer, the gift of tongues and things like that. So I believe that we're going to have a full embodiment of just all these things. And again, I'm not saying that we're a kumbaya type thing and accepting all of the different sects and different branches of Christianity, but rather that it's going to be one holistic thing that was what the early church was like. And as people are stepping up, we're going to be utilized because we've been in different groups for a long time. We've been in this denomination, that group, and all these things. And so now God, he's kind of providing an avenue, especially online, for people to really research and to understand, to grow as you get more information. And there's pros and cons, obviously, because some people will move towards maybe false teachers or false, things, wolves in sheep's clothing, but also they'll move towards more correct things. So there's been a cleaning or cleansing. So no more are people just going to their local church, not really realizing that they have been attending a spiritually dead church for a long time. So there's that too. And so again, not going to get too deep into that, but there's just been a lot of just the shaking of the church. And I think that moving into this next season, you're going to see people really come out that have been on fire for the Lord. They've gotten the right, either encouragement, discipleship, or the right theology, the right corrections, and they're going to move into something that can unleash them into being the man and woman of God that God has called you to do. And so that part is going to be where it's going to be most exciting, I think, for people to move forward in this next season. So again, the internet, it was kind of a 10, 15 years ago on Facebook, people are like, you're doing ministry on and that's not me. I'm a newer online a content creator, but or influencer, if you want to call it that, but they've been just kind of, put down. They've been sneered and marginalized. But now it's like a lot of people are online and doing things in a different sort of new way. And so God is doing a new thing, as Scripture says. So again, so this is an opportunity to each their own to tap into what would be good videos or good study, your own time to yourself, and rid yourself of the only church on the block that you could go to, that may have not been the best church for you because it was not Holy Spirit inspired or filled with the right theology and all that stuff. So now we have just this global cleansing in some sense. So I think that because of this, it's going to move us into a better time. So that's where my direction is going, digital online ministry / encouragement. And because of that, I'm going to be building up more of a traditional sort of team that you see many other YouTubers or content creators do. So we'll have, teams of editors and assistants. So I already have 2 people working for me, guys. And I've just been, in some sense, bleeding money, trying to keep them on payroll, paying for them, doing not only my own small business, keeping up my store and just the stuff, but also with certain things that help me. So everything that I can kind of offload or help supplement with editing, with captions, subtitles, or whatever it is that I need help with. I used to do a lot of the shorts videos with the AI videos and all that stuff, but I've kind of stopped that for a little bit just to see how just the pure, if you see it on TikTok and Instagram for one of my accounts, it's just pure me, like talking. People have been more trending in that direction for authentic content. The AI and the supplementary B-roll is fine. I think it's okay. It has its place, but just trying different things. So the point I'm trying to make here is that I have this Give Send Go set up, as you can see in the link above, givesendgo.com/Chris Yoon, and I really need the help as I move to Korea because I'm trying to build up, in some sense, security for the next year even. Having money to pay for my 2 assistants, having money for myself, living and transitioning, moving, even upgrading some equipment, production equipment, trying to get higher NPCs for my team members so they can edit better, even money so that I can give back or bless others with. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to do videos where I'm going to record myself doing philanthropy or those idealistic type of videos. I forget what it's called. It's a certain type of content people make. But I'm not going to do that. But there's a chance I may start a channel or do something for which we're going out and recording certain things. So I don't know what that looks like yet. It may not happen per se, but I also want to have a cash cow type business such that it's going to further the kingdom of God. So I'm working through that, but again, to be able to do that, I need to invest in people and help. And I want to have that security behind me versus just me bleeding some of my savings from over the years in corporate, working in corporate and working in big tech. So it's been great for me in that sense. But because the last 2 years I've been focusing hard in trying to build up the ministry as well as the business, I need help. And so that's why I'm doing this. The next 4 days will be like a live session and just trying to interact a little bit more from the YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So I have simultaneously, just been broadcasting across all these channels. So I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, but let me see. So this link above, I know people are listening to me now, but when you have the chance, you can stop after this stream. I'm going to cut the stream shortly here. And then tomorrow in the morning, I'm going to stream again. I'm going to see how it goes, actually. Not just for the fundraising and just Q&A and all that, but just interaction, encouragement, and things like that. And then see if I continue it or not. So a lot of my videos have just been me raw posting, editing it, and uploading it. But there's a need for live content too that I've noticed. I've done it here and there over the years. It's not been as consistent. So hopefully I can be a little bit more that way, but we'll see, So thankfully across platforms, there's been steady growth and hopefully that continues. I know it's not about numbers for me, but the more I can be used for the Lord, the more thankful I am in that sense. So so let me think. So tomorrow around 9 a.m. Central Time, maybe earlier, maybe a little later, but also at night as well. So maybe 5, 6, 7 p.m. So for a few hours, I'll try to do that as much as possible. So let me think. Let me see if there's any other last minute comments. So if you can, again, if you're willing and able, please go to the site, givesendgo.com/Christian. This is my one sort of big push for it. I remember, so I'll say this. So I was always hesitant about this because I'm like, okay, I'm going to lose people. People are not going to like it and all of that. But I remember being encouraged this past, week from when I grew up. Like, I mean, this is not even that long ago, but I think they still do it. I don't listen as much anymore to the radio, but if you remember some of you guys listening to like Caleb or some of those stations, there will be a time like, I think it was Caleb, but like once a year, they would go on blast for like a whole week and just say, hey, we don't take sponsorships or money from ads and stuff like that. We're very listener supported. We're asking that you would just donate, just give, and they would do that for a week. And at first I was like, what is this? What is this? And then eventually I was like, I guess they really need to build up for next year. And so because of that, I was encouraged by that, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll do the same in this instance. So that's why I have this up. And over the years, I've had different, fundraising and other things. I've always had my donation page up. It's been down for the last 2 months. So that's why it's been a little concerning, because people have been messaging me like, hey, like the monthly, hasn't gone through, or I can't give, what's going on? And I have to pass this like 3-4 month thing from Stripe, as well as like, Shopify and their website stuff. And so it's been a little tough in that instance. My christianstore.com is down right now. So I have literally for the last 2 months not been getting, or rather the last 3-4 weeks, not been getting anything. PayPal was up. It was available, but I just have not been getting much. And so from my perspective, I know people are always sensitive about money, but I'm fully, supported by either the YouTube, because YouTube is what really pays me more than the other platforms. And it's not enough because of the views, but really supported by you guys. But I'm also trying to work hard for my own small business. So my website, Carmen is asking, what is the page for your merchandise website? So that website, christianstore.com, is down. So I'm appealing. I don't know why they took it down, but my, support, the guys over at Shopify have, said certain things. I think that I'm always getting attacked, by the way. So I'm not trying to like blame things on like demonic attacks, but definitely when you get to a point where there's hundreds of thousands of followers or eyes on you, and even recently on TikTok, I've been getting like 500,000 views. Like, praise the Lord. Like, certain videos have been getting like 500,000. Like, I just can't believe that's, for me. But when you get to a certain point like me, and again, I'm not some big guy. I'm not like some famous, like, Christian like person or influencer. But even when you get hundreds of thousands of followers, you're going to get people, they constantly like attack you. Like, they'll do things, comment, email you every day. They'll like annoy you. And it's for a certain person with thick skin to be able to handle. And I can handle it, but it's just a constant like thorn in your side. So people are reporting, attacking, trying to like fish scam you and just all this stuff. And so you just got to be very careful about it. And maybe this comes with just anybody that's in influencer content creation type thing. But really it's, it could be that, it could be other things, but it's just nonstop issues that I've gone through. So the website that I have normally is down, but the website I have linked right here is the only one that's up that's able to accept anything, because number one, it's Give, Send, Go. So they're very lenient about, Christian, donations and things like that. But just, it's easier for me to like be transparent about what's going on. So you can read it. You can support me if needed. But I'm going to only do this for the next 4 days. So I'm leaving for Korea like the end of this week. So I've got to pack and do things and sell certain things, and it's going to be busy. But I'm going to try to do this live. Not only, I don't want to say primarily as a outreach thing to help support for the fundraising, but also just as a way to see how this interaction goes in talking with you guys, reading the comments across all platforms. So I have like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, like 2 channels on YouTube, 2 channels on TikTok going, and just seeing what it's like. So my latest like TikTok account, the one that I post the encouragement videos on, the long form, have been getting some crazy like views. And so I'm going to see if I can continue to do that, as well as cover some of the current times and just stuff like that. So I know I have my one channel that always gets controversial, questions and takes and stuff like that about the times. But even on this stream, I'm seeing you guys too. I'm also going to focus a little bit more just on encouragement, because my other channels have people that, it's just not good in some sense to talk about, controversial topics in that sense. But for others on that channel, my main channel there, I know you guys are able to, you guys catch up on news like all the time, right? So it's just 2 different audience types. That's why I split the channel. I have Christian encouragement and then Christian. So if you guys remember, I did that a long time ago. I like mixed up the videos, but now it's more on just one channel. So my shorts, meaning like I chop up, add captions. If you guys have ever seen it on Instagram or even on my first TikTok channel, all of that has just been more of like very clean, just quick sound bites of me talking. So, and then of course my, if I'm in my car or if I'm in like the corner here in my room talking to you guys, that's my encouragement channel. So it's across like different platforms. So I'll probably end it here in a moment, but if anybody wants to, I would love it for the support. But Give, Send, Go, I'll give you guys more updates as the days come on, or the days pass. But givesendgo.com/Chris Yuden. If you guys if you guys can, after this, go there and however the Lord leads. And I think tomorrow I'll try to have the PayPal, Venmo, and like Zelle, I think, whatever I had in my other page. Like my page is down right now, so I'm going to try to add that, because I know some people give incognito or anonymously. So actually, anonymous giving is also here too in Give, Send, Go. So you can do that too if you guys would like. So, yep. So I have a goal here. I know it might sound lofty, 20K, but if you guys are able to help me with that, and if it goes beyond that, that would be crazy. I know when I was doing this before, it went up a lot, like years ago. But now, I don't know how it's going to be, but I trust the Lord. I'm going to make the move. It's a big move of faith for me. But, yeah, it's gonna be good. So, people are still asking, where can I donate? So this link above my head right now, it says, you know what? Let me type it here. So, givesendgo.com/Chris Yuden. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can. Okay, so let me type it. Okay, so I know in the beginning you guys have been patient with me as I was going through the technical glitches. It's gonna get better. It's my first stream. Let me try to do it here like this. Let me see if it goes through. Oh wow, it does go through. Nice. Okay. The font is really small, huh? Here, let me see if I can try to make it a little bigger. Does that work? So this, you can see it here. Okay, let me do this. Let me go lower my seat a little bit, go down, and then see if I can do that. So people are asking across the chat, so maybe I should be more clear about it. Okay, so that's okay. So that's this. givesendgo.com/Chris. And then, and if you want to look, if you want to look on the website for details, you guys can do that. Oh, that's much better. It was so small earlier. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so that was that. Let's see. Let me see if I can say it across my platforms. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just type it here. Okay, now I'm gonna type it over here. I have like multiple devices up. Okay. Okay, so I have that up. Okay, so that's that. So after this live, I will end it soon. You guys can go and take a look if you guys are led to do that. If not, no worries. And let me see. Let me see if there's any other comments. I posted this link. I'm going to try to post it in the bios and across the platforms. So that's that. Okay. Okay. So tomorrow I will be on again at 9, hopefully 9, and then at night, like at 5 or 6 p.m. Central Time. So I'm Central Time right now. So the plan is that we can fundraise. I can hire. I can continue the 2 people that work for me. I can also be in a better position to be stable going into the future. I know people are asking like, oh, like, don't you make money here and there? It's all like, even like guys like Trump or the billionaires, they always fundraise. They continuously fundraise and they always like have cash flow. And so people, have this mentality that, oh, if you're doing okay and you make a lot. And again, I'm not, the thing that I'm making is from YouTube ads. So if you see the ad before this, YouTube pays me a little bit here and there. But because I've been draining cash, keeping my employees employed and getting them work and just investing in the business and all that stuff, it's just been a little difficult. So if you guys have seen my website, christianstore.com, that was where I had a lot of products. It sold. I've made money. It was kind of in and out, but it wasn't profitable long term. So I've had good splurts of revenue come in, and then some that just kind of, some down days at the expense of, inventory or, labor and all that stuff. So it's a little bit difficult. And even with YouTube is my main source of, like, TikTok or Instagram. They're not like paying like the bills. Like, be lucky if I get like $10 or $20. But with YouTube, it depends on the views. And so if the views are not high, you don't get much. But at the same time, I always get sponsorship opportunities. I did it for a little bit last year, but it's just been, I don't know. I don't want to say like it's bad. I respect people that hustle like that, but it's just, you have to put ad in between like your video, like a 1 minute, 30-minute segment and all that stuff. So with the type of videos I'm doing, especially on the encouragement, it's going to be weird. Just like you're talking about something and all of a sudden you're like, hey, by the way, this video is sponsored by, like, so I don't want to do that. And so that's why I'm trying to be as much listener supported and basically, self-sustaining as possible. So the hope is that I can be more profitable with my business ventures, but also leave my website up. The website is down, guys. That's why I'm doing something like this. The website is down, and I have to appeal it. So it's taking some time. But also the merchant provider Stripe has struck me with like this 120-day like freeze. So everything I'm getting from them is just, it's been on limbo. It's been in limbo since like November. So anyway, I'm dealing with that now, but it's just been a little bit tough, but got to persevere. So right now, my situation's tough because with all that's going on, suddenly in the last like 3-4 months, I've been like waking up at 6 like every day, just praying like in the morning, like just all morning about my future and just all of that. And so, I mean, the long story short, the Lord is calling me back to Korea. If you haven't listened from the beginning, He's calling me back to Korea. I have a lot that I have to prepare for. You may not see certain videos certain times, but once I get settled in, I'm going to be the plan is to have full-time content, a lot of videos, and just continuing to do this into the future, as well as going into the business aspect. So that's the plan. But man, I have like there's so much going on here, but hopefully this will get better over time. But I'm going to just sign off now, and tomorrow I will see you guys in the morning if you guys want to do that. So, so somebody asked, why not get a job? So that's a great question. So I believe that if you guys haven't followed me from the beginning, I was in corporate for a long time. I was in I had the best jobs from I guess a worldly perspective. I worked in strategy consulting. I worked at the number one best firm in some sense for technology strategy consulting or technology consulting. And then I worked at the number one best company like for certain big tech. So I worked at a company, like it's basically a Korean company that's everywhere in the world, but just, it's like the best company. Like it's like a dream job. But because the Lord, called me out of it, and I have a whole testimony, but I've got to wait a little bit because I'm going through, I can't talk too much about it, but some legal stuff. But basically after my period of this time, then I can speak more about it. But basically because of that, the Lord has called me away from it. And again, I'm the kind of person, like before social media, I like never thought I would do social media, right? This was like even 4 years ago. I think I started like 4 years ago. I never thought, and I stopped. I was doing both, like corporate and then social media. So 2 years in, I was doing social media and corporate. God moved me out of corporate full-time, content creation and, small business, personal like endeavors. But because God wanted me to move in this entrepreneurial sort of way, He's going to have a big plan for me for other stuff as I try to be faithful in what I have now. So, so the long story short, I not only don't want to go back into corporate, but also just there's a lot of things that would tie you down, like especially with one of my channels. If I started talking about very controversial topics, right, like end times and just various things. It's going to be a little bit tough to balance and navigate corporate as well as with like the content that I talk about. So some content is like very neutral, very fine, but others it's just very like you're on thin ice in some sense. So it's difficult. So, and the type of stuff I talk about, especially with regards to either end times, with controversial topics, not everybody can digest that. So, the moment I say words like Antichrist, like that's just like a red flag in some sense. Maybe I shouldn't have said it, but it's it's basically stuff like that just gets you. Like I just don't want anyone to kind of hover over me as I'm doing this type of ministry. And so in corporate, you have to adhere to like social media policy. If you answer to somebody else, it's a top-down thing. And again, I'm not saying I don't want certain accountability, but if it's especially worldly and it's not of biblical like rootedness, you're just going to have people that talk and say, no, that's not good. That's not right. So, let me see here. So let's see if there's any other last minute things I want to talk about. But let me just go back to. I haven't gone back to Instagram. I only have so many windows I can look at. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. So some people have talked about this before too. Somebody just asked about Patreon membership, Hope Eternal. So I don't know. I've thought about stuff like that, but then in order for that to be valuable, you have to have separate content. And I've always pondered the idea of more. I did this like for a month last year, but like one-offs or one-on-ones, like a small group, creating more content that's exclusive. But I've decided I don't know. There's maybe just Patreon if people are okay with not getting anything exclusive, but I think just to have a membership so that it would just be with the intent to support me. I think people, if they're okay with that, that's fine. But there's an expectation that you've got to add more value, especially when you have exclusive like memberships like that. So that's why I haven't really gone in that direction as much. But we'll see. So let me see what other things. Okay, let me actually. You know what? I have an issue because I actually filtered this by top chat, not live chat. Okay, here we go. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys, and I'll see you guys in the morning. But feel free if you guys would like to go to this link above and support. I've tried to explain as best as possible, but you can also read the little blurb there that I have. Would love to help and support. If not, no worries. Just to listen, even a subscribe and a like would be good. But I'll be doing this for the next 4 days. So, and then we'll see how it goes. May do it off and on here and there, but wanted to at least interact with you guys as much as possible. And this is my first stream ever doing TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, like 2 accounts on TikTok, 2 accounts on Instagram, and kind of going through this. So bear with me. Hopefully it gets better. I'm going to try to do the full screen, the vertical screen, if I can make it work, but we'll see. So, okay. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow if you guys are able to join. Let me see if I can end this stream. It might be a minute. And whenever it's alive, it's never awkward, guys, of the silence. So let's see.